We'll get started. All right, I've got about 2 minutes after 3. I don't know how many will join us today. And material, thank you both for being here. All right. Have both of you set up your competency folder in? I know Chris has. Amber, have you set up your competency folder in Task Stream?
No, I haven't.
All right. Do you have Task Stream up on your screen now?
No, but I can.
Go ahead and do that. I'm going to walk you through it, and everybody can listen while I do that.
I don't know how to do it. Hold on, I got a new computer, and I can't figure out how to get out of full screen.
If you'll hover it over the picture, a couple the options will pop up. There'll be a full screen, boxes where you can see everybody, reduce screen, and then you can minimize it. You kind of have to hover your mouse over the picture till you find that. All right, who's sending me emails here? My 605s.
Now I forget, can I get to Task Stream through Blackboard, or do I just
No, just go to www.taskstream.com.
Okay.
They are not linked, thank goodness.
Okay.
And when you get to the screen that you see here, just as soon as you sign in, before you go to your DRF, we have to load the folio for you to put your competency proofs in. And these two are not linked right now inside of TaskStream, and there's a reason why. TaskStream is a repository, and once you submit things in it, it won't let you go back. And so we have separated the competency folio from your DRF so that you can work in that folio the entire time you're in the program. And then at the end, you will move it over to your DRF for evaluation. But that's just a formality, because I'll comment on each of your competency proofs as you go. So we'll know where we are. I just got through doing 7 for one of my 605s. And Chrissy does a good job. But the point to remember is we want a proof. She wrote wonderful narratives. I wish she was listening, but you got to attach a proof, and I'm going to show you what that is in just 1 second. All right, are you with me yet, Amber, on Task Stream?
I am.
All right, so for you will go, for the new people, you will go up to Communications that you can see in the middle of the screen and click on that, and then you will go to the Message Center. And I am trying to remember on yours.
It said a template. I only had the one message in there, so it was a competency.
That's the one you want to click on.
Okay.
Mine's in a little different place, but it says Competency Template 2017. And once you click on that, you'll get a Competencies 2017 Live button. It may be down to, you may have to scroll down the bottom of your screen, but when you click on that, it's gonna upload the folder now.
Okay. And then I click copy, right?
And then you click copy. Up in the top right hand, I'm gonna have to move y'all over a little bit here so I can get to my copy button. Then you copy it, and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to proceed with copying? And you tell it, yes, you do. Proceed with copying. And then it will tell you this pop-up box will be, it's now available. So you can now just, when you come in, you don't have to go through these steps again. You can simply click on Folios and Web Pages, and voila, there's going to be a red Competencies 2017 folder for you. Got that?
Got it.
Excellent. Now, using that folder is like using the DRF, where you upload work in there, but it's even more critical here, and I'll tell you why. So when you click on your competencies folder, come on and be live for me here. Mine's a little behind here. It's not live. Task Stream is not responding. Recover web page. Yeah, that's never good. Come on back to me here. All right. All right, I've got to reload Task Stream. My task stream crashed. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, let me reload it and get back there because this is important. While I'm reloading task stream here, if it will reload, I have no idea why it crashed out on me. You will be putting different proofs of competency in your competency folio, and they will be of different types of media. So there are different buttons. There's a toolbar that will come up at the bottom of your screen when you go to your competency folio and click on any of the 21 competencies that you are to do. Now, if you are in the regular 5-semester program, whether it's add-on or whether it's regular master's degree, you have to do 12. Uh-oh. Task stream's not wanting to work for me right now. Come on back. If you are in the 3-semester program, you have to do all 21 this semester. So when you go to your competencies folio, you're going to see 21 competencies over here on the left as soon as this thing loads again. Aha, here it comes. All right, they start with communication and they go through visionary. Come on. You can do it. All right, so they start with communication and they go down to visionary. For the time being, you do not do the digital learning competencies. That comes later. It's not actually live until fall of 17. And here's where you would upload your internship log at the end of every semester. You're to do 80 hours a semester of those suggested activities that's in your site mentor handbook. So if you're in the 3-semester program, you still do 80 per semester. If you're in the 5-semester program, you still do 80 per semester. All right, so, but the things that you upload as proof of competency go from communication down to visionary. And I have given you, and we have the cheat sheet as to where you will find these competencies, either open-ended or the ones that go with the evidence artifacts. I have 2 documents. These I've already sent you, but I'll open them back up again. Open-ended and these. All right. So let me see if those will open. So we'll start with the first one as soon as Word loads in here. All right, and I'll have those 2 documents and will be available just in a minute here. Come on, there it is. There's the first one, and the second one will come along here just in a second. And go. All right, there it is. All right, so we'll refer to those in just a minute. All right, for your first one, communication, when you click on that button, you're going to get a taskbar down at the bottom of the screen. And there it comes. All right, so here's the key. If you have taken a screenshot where you used your Windows key and the print screen and took a screenshot of something that you want as a proof, like say an email. In Evidence Artifact 1, the app cell, you had to get email permission from your principal to form a PLC. You just pull that email up on the screen and take a screenshot of that. When you press at the same time your Windows button and your print screen button, your computer takes a picture of your screen. You can then go to File Manager and open up your Pictures folder, and inside that pictures folder will be a subfolder that says screenshots, and that's where that picture will be. You can download that picture as proof of communication, write 1 or 2 sentences about, and this is the email permission from my principal as an example of communication. You go and upload that here as your proof of competency for the first round of communication. Now, you use the text and image button to do that because it is a JPEG. If you use your camera to take a picture of something and you upload that as proof, that's a JPEG. You have to use text and image. If you have like a pamphlet that's a PDF file, that's text and image. If you want to upload a PowerPoint or a Prezi presentation, that's a slideshow, you use the slideshow button. If you want to upload a Word document as proof, that is, you use the attachment button. If you want to upload proof, something like collaboration between your peers, doing a peer review on Zoom, that would be a good one. Use the video button. If you upload that video to YouTube and just want to share the link as evidence of collaboration, you would upload that under the links button. Don't use any of the other buttons, just use those. Use links, videos, attachment, slideshow, and text and image. So make sure you know what kind of media that you've got when you go to upload it. Now, it may let you upload it in the wrong place, but it won't let me download and view it. Once you upload that media, you click on request comments over here, and the box will pop up with everybody's name in it. You pick mine. Let me do that. Let's see if that'll work today. I'm almost afraid to see if it'll work today because I haven't put anything in there. It won't let me do that until I upload something. Let me upload something. Let me do an attachment. Let's see if it'll let me do that or if it's died on me again. I think Task Stream has died on me again. Okay, come on. Yeah, I'm afraid Task Stream has died on me again. But you get the idea. There it goes. It just went out on me. Come on back. Let's see if it'll let me.
I was able to click on mine, so I was able to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, feedback, it should be doing it now. So it'll give you a box like that, and I selected communication. You hit continue, and it gives you the choice of the names, and just find me, and I am your reviewer for those. There it comes. You just select me, continue, and it will send me it will send me it will send it to me. All right. Okay. It's going to take a second to get back out of here. Okay, yep. It just sent me a notification. Excellent. So we know it's working. So yours will work. I just went through the process. All right. So that's your competency folio. And that's what you put in there. You say, now, Dale, each one of those, when I click on it, it tells me where that competency's got to come from. Let me go back to that. It says for communication, the first one, it says it can come from the app cell, the app tail, or open-ended. If you don't know where those examples would be, I have made you a cheat sheet or 2 cheat sheets. So for example, communication, it tells you right here when you click on communication, it tells you where you've got to get your 3 proofs from. It says evidence artifact 1, which is the app cell, 6 SIOP, and 1 open-ended. So I've made you 2 documents. These are in your internship shell. I've also emailed them to you if you don't have them. And you can't get to your internship shell, I will send them to you again. But here's where the open-ended ones are, and this is straight from the list of suggested activities that you have during your internship, your clinical experience with your principal. And I have categorized each of these. So if you address a small or large group of adults, that would be a communication competency, and you'd have something like a program or an agenda from that, or minutes. That's what you would attach as proof, as an open-ended one. The ones that come from the evidence artifacts, I have pulled all of those out. You simply look in the task that you are assigned to do for each of your 6 evidence artifacts, and I have put what competencies those address. Now, you say, but Dale, what does this competency 1, 3, 6, 12 mean? Competency number 1 is communication. I've got the key down here at the bottom. 2 is change management. 3 is conflict management, and so forth. So this is where you find your competency proofs from your evidence artifact work. Again, these 2 documents are in your shell, your internship shell, and I've also emailed them to you. So if you haven't, those of you who are listening, if you haven't set up your competency shell, your folio, you need to go ahead and do that and start putting your competencies in there. Okay. Either of you have questions about your competency folio? Again, let me reiterate. If you're in the 3-semester program, you've got to do all 21 this semester, from communication down to visionary. If you are in the 5-semester program, you do the first 12. At the end of the semester, you have your 80 hours logged in with your principal. You have them sign it off. You scan it and you upload it here under internship logs. If you take a picture of it, it's a PDF. Use the text and image. If it's a JPEG, if you take a screenshot, if it's an actual Word document where you scanned it back in, please remember, when you scan documents back in, if you don't scan it back in as a Word document, I've had that problem to happen. Students would download the Word document, print it out, fill it in by hand, but when they scanned it back in, they scanned it as a PDF. If you scan it back in as a PDF, then you've got to upload it using the text and image button. I know that sounds minor, but the problem is when you send me stuff to review, if you didn't use the right button, I can't review it. So make sure you use the proper button. Now, let's talk about, if you have any questions. All right, let's talk about your regular DRF portfolio. We'll first look at the 5-semester people. You should have a DRF that says MELS Spring 17 if you've registered for TaskStream and gotten your username and password. When you go in there, you're going to have, boy, TaskStream's slow today. Everybody must be working. All right. It's going to automatically, the default is it will upload your work page to start with every time. There are other tabs over here to the right, and we'll discuss those in just a second. So you can see if you're in 601 regular, you have the app cell to do. You put your app cell in here when it's ready to be graded, not before. You do all of your draft work in Blackboard with your peer review group in your class. When it's all ready and done and everybody says it's ready to go, you upload it here for evaluation. Competency analysis is not done until about 3 weeks before the end of the semester. What you do there is you go back to your competency folio, and you don't have to bring it over, but you just kind of review your competency folio, and then you come back here and you click on competency analysis, and it's a self-assessment of how well you did on either your 12 or 21 competencies this semester. So,
Dale, can I interrupt for a second? I do not see any of that on my main page.
When you went to, now your add-on. So
but I'm changing over to the 5. So how's that going to work for me?
You'll just be ahead. The only thing's different from you in the 3-semester program, you have to do the app cell and the app tell this semester. So if you switch over to the 5-semester program, you'll just be ahead on your evidence artifact work. And if you do the app tell as well this semester. So let's go back.
Then will I still be required to take that second class, or?
Yes, if you switch over, you'll take MELS 602 next semester, which is the research class. You will take that class if you switch over. Yes.
Okay.
What we're talking about for you, those that are listening, if you're in the 5-semester program, you're getting a master's degree in school administration or school leadership, and you're getting your license. If you're in the 3-semester program, you already have a master's degree of some sort, not in school administration more than likely, but you're getting a add-on licensure, which is 18 hours beyond that master's degree. If you decide to, you can switch over to the 5-semester program and get a second master's degree. This one would be in executive leadership, and you get your licensure. And the reason why you might want to do that is some states do require a master's degree in school administration, not just a generic master's degree, in order to get into the applicant flow for a principal job. You need to check if you're not in North Carolina. North Carolina doesn't matter, but if you're out of North Carolina, as Amber is right now, that might be something that you'd be interested in checking on, or if you plan to leave the state. So right now, if you're in the add-on licensure program, you would need to do the AppSell and the AppTel because you're not taking 602 next semester. That's the only requirement. So if we went to that folio, let me see, this thing, did it die on me again? It's awfully slow today. Come on. Oh man, I think task strings died again. So if we went back out and came back in to MELS add-on licensure spring 17, you would have the AppTel would be here with the AppSell, and that would be the only difference. But again, competency analysis is done whether either for both of you. Let's see. I'm here for task string. No, I will submit later.
So just for some clarification, for like if any of us were going to be switching over, even though I'm already doing the 601, I'm pretty much doing 601 and 602 in one class.
They're doing the evidence artifacts for 601 and 602 because you're just in 3-semester program, yes.
So
but
when I go in, when I convert over to 602, I'll pretty much already have all that work done.
You'll have the AppTel done. You'll just have to do your classwork in 602.
Sweet.
That'll be, yeah, you'll be ahead. That's why I said you'll be ahead. That's a good thing. When you switch over, you won't be behind.
Well, that's a relief. Okay.
Yeah, I have had students who went the other way, who signed up for the 5-semester program, who already had a master's degree, and then wanted to switch over because it was quicker to get to 3 semesters. And then, but then, oops, you're, you know, I've got one right now who wants to switch over, but she's in the 2nd semester, and she's already a semester and a half behind on her evidence artifact work. So for her, the quickest I can get her out is 4 semesters. I can do that for her. I can get her out in 4. But I can't get her out in 3 because she's a semester and a half behind on her evidence artifact work. So now, School of Ed dispositions are due now. If you have not done them, you need to click on them and do those now. They are hooked to me. You do the first half, I do the second half of those. And it's just 6 items. Give yourself met. You don't have to write any kind of an explanation of that at this point. The first go round, I let you just rate yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself. I let you just rate yourself the first time. You do not have to give me an explanation as to why you meet at this point. What we hope is by the time you get through the program, you will be at an exceeds level, and then you will write me a rationale as to why you exceed that particular disposition. So we were just looking at the regular 5-semester program. If you're in the 3-semester program like Amber is, this is what yours look like. You see, Amber, you have to do the AppSell and the AppTel.
But I don't even have that MELS Spring 2017 add-on license on my page. The only thing I see is competencies. I don't see that. All right,
go back and click on this home icon right here.
Oh, okay. All right, so I was under the folios.
Yeah,
I
you can
see.
see on folios, no problem. All right, so you can see, all of you can see, regardless of whether you're in the add-on licensure or you're regular, your competency analysis is done at the end of the semester based on your portfolio work in your competency folio, but your School of Ed dispositions are due now. And again, they're just simple bubbles with boxes. You don't have to put anything in the boxes, and there's not a tripwire on those. So on some things, if you leave the box blank, it won't let you go forward. On those, there is no tripwire on those. All you have to do is put a radio dot in the circle for those 6 at what level you think you are. Now, if you think you exceed expectations on those already, then you better write me an explanation. Safer way to do that is just put exceeds on it, meets on all of them. Don't have to write me anything, and then we're good to go. You submit that, and then I'll do the other half. Now, you will do that in semesters 1, 3, and 5, or semesters 1, 2, and 3, according to which program you're in. So you do 3 rounds of dispositions. You don't have to do. So the first round, be easy on yourself. Just click the bubble radio dot in the circle, click through, and then just submit those. And then you do your competency analysis at the end of the first semester. You do it, and then you'll do that competency analysis again when you finish the whole thing. You only have to do competency analysis at the end of the first semester to make sure you know what you're doing, and give us feedback, and then at the end you evaluate your whole competency folio at the end. And then you can see down here at the bottom, then we will import it from your competency folio into your DRF. I'll give you the pass fail, and you'll be good to go. All right, now please remember, I'm going to go back, if it'll let me, I'm going to go back to the non-add-on, the 5-semester program here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go back to it. Okay. If it'll open back up for me. There we go. So you can see, Amber can see, so if she were in the regular program, she'd only have to do the app sale. She would do, all she has to do the app sale, all she has to do is next semester is this. So if she gets that done, she won't have to do it. She'll just have to do her classwork. Now, please remember, you have 3 screens here, and there's tabs over here to the right. There's a work screen, and that's where you upload your work. If you upload something for comments, you have a comment screen, and then you have a scores results screen. So when you submit your School of Ed dispositions, when you submit those, and then I do the other half, and I do the other half of the evaluation, you go to your scores results screen, and you will see a MET there for that. So anything that you submit for evaluation, the scores will show up on your scores results screen. Anything you submit for comments, it will show up on your comment screen here. If you submit folio items for comments, if the proofs, they will be back in your folio pages. They will not show up here on this one. You only get comments on these items here on this page. Okay, so that's a quick and dirty on task stream. Again, folios and web pages is where you will park your competency folio there for the time being, rather than here, so that you can go in and out of it and work. It makes task stream a lot easier. You won't get locked out of it that way. So we've set it up, and so you'll have your competency folio in the end. Now, looking down the road, when you get to 605, whether it takes you 3 semesters or 5 semesters, I will base my competency analysis of you, which is required for licensure in whatever state you're trying to get licensed in. College has to do a competency analysis of you. It's called certification of competency. I base that on that competency folio. So keep me in the loop. Make sure that when you put something in, that you request comments. I'll give you feedback within 24 hours, usually shorter than that. And if you need something else, we'll go. I don't want to come to the end and then somebody not pass competency because their folio is not good. Keep me in the loop on the competency folio. I'll get back to you. But I am the one that grades it in the end. And remember, it's just pass fail. So don't get too choked up over that one. All right, so that's task stream. I am going to log out of task stream because it is really slowing down the process today. You can do it. Come on, let me log out. Yeah. We'll move on from task stream. I'll come back and log out later. Sometimes if you don't log out and it times out, you have to wait 6 hours to get back in. So if you're using task stream, try not to have anything else open. I've got a lot of other things open today. You see how poorly task stream works when you have other items open. So when you're working in task stream, it should be the only thing you have up on your browser at that time. It works very slow if there's anything else up on your browser. And if you times out, that's not good. So always go in and log out. Okay, no, I'll submit my work later. You can't get over that. I didn't submit any work a while ago. Okay, it's still doing that. All right, but use that log out button. I'll come back to that later. All right, let's look at Blackboard right quick. You should have your list of courses. You should have 601. Obviously I teach several courses, so here's a list of things that I'm teaching now. But down here at the bottom, you should have like a MELS 601. Underneath it, you should have one of these 3 sections of internship. Have they shown up for you yet? Chris, is yours there? Good.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully they've got you in the right one. If they haven't, don't panic. We'll just have it switched. They're working on that tomorrow again. They're loading folks in there. If you're in the regular 5-semester program, you will be in MELS 697. Get that off of my screen.
That's the one I'm in too.
All right, you should, but we won't have yours changed then because that's where you're going to be next semester. I think I told them to go ahead and put you in 697.
Right, I just have to get the extra transcripts and stuff sent.
Yeah.
So we're good to go.
Okay. Let's see. I finally got testing to crash. You probably won't open back up for me.
Can I ask you a question about 601 real fast?
Yes.
So I'm a little concerned because the way that things are playing out with my PLC is we can't meet every week, and yet the tasks seem to require you to meet with your PLC every week.
Yes, they do for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and after that, it will slow down.
Right. So it's causing somewhat of a problem with my group specifically because we can't reach a decision that fast because we can't meet.
Well, for you specifically, I would just slow down and plan on pacing myself like I was just going to do that one this semester. And if you can get to the AppTel, that'll be fine. That's part of the problem with the add-on licensure people having to do the AppSell and the AppTel. If you're going to try to knock out both of them in the same semester, your PLC has to meet at least once a week and usually twice a week for the first 4 or 5 weeks. That's very hard. And so for you, since you're going to slow down rather than speed up, if you don't get all the way through the AppTel this semester, that's going to be fine because that's all you're going to do in semester 2 and 602 is just the AppTel. So for you, I would not worry about that. I would pace myself as if I were doing
AppSell only.
AppSell only because, and that will put much less stress on you and your PLC right now. But as that email you sent us, use Zoom as much as you can. You can use email.
Well, they love that, and so I just wanted to make sure that wouldn't cause any problems.
No. That, you know, one of the things that we get into in different schools and different school systems, even in North Carolina, is some schools have they run split schedules, And sometimes PLC members may not be on campus always at the same time or don't have a common time that they could get together. And so Zoom tends to work great for those issues. And so I would almost, unless they're my grade level PLC, I would almost set my PLC up on Zoom as just a matter of course. So
I think that's what I'm going to do, because the individuals on my PLC specifically are already involved in other leadership PLCs, and that was like the biggest piece of feedback that I received this past week, was how much they love being able to do that on their own time.
Oh yeah, that's much better. That's a much smarter, more modern way to do things. And I found out when I went to one of my schools this week, I started visiting new people on site this week, and one of the things I found out, and I'm going to make sure I reiterate again, I think I've already mentioned this, but I'm old. I slept since I talked to you last a little bit. But, if you're already in a PLC and your principal's not too helped up on you forming another one, use Zoom. That's a big help. But also, maybe you could just take a leadership role in the PLC you're already in. I went to Allen Middle School in Greensboro this week. I hope Nicole and let's see, who did I see there? Let me get over here. I saw Nicole and Kevin, I think, there. Let me double check. Yeah, I saw Nicole and Kevin at Allen Middle School in Greensboro this week, and they're both on the 7th grade team PLC. Don't form another one, just take turns leading that one. And definitely, if you got two of you at the same school, like Chris and Graham are at the same school, just form one PLC if you can. Don't. The point is, don't overburden the staff members. If they work better on Zoom, or if you can work inside of the existing PLC, that's great. We don't want to wear out your colleagues, and we don't want the principal to be angry when they see me coming. I appreciate that too, that people are glad to see me coming and not mad about what y'all are doing when I go out and visit these schools, or when all the clinical coaches go visit the schools. Now, you realize I think I took more than 10 of y'all. I think I took about 17 of y'all. But I take about from 10 to 20 in every DRF and go out and visit those schools so that I know what everybody is experiencing. I'm not the office guy. And so I'm on the road at least 3 days. And for right now, for this month, I'm on the road 4 days. Last week I was on the road 5 days. This week I'll be on the road 4 days. And I go out and visit schools. And that's the one constant that I hear from principals and staff members is these PLCs are wearing us out. They're really time consuming, and they're not handy. Make them handy.
Well, I think there was some confusion, because when we first started, it specifically stated that it could not be a pre-existing PLC, that we had to identify a need and develop a new PLC. So
I think what that means is you couldn't just latch on to what they were already doing. You could name them a new PLC, use the same group, and take them a different direction as the leader. But be practical about this. You don't want to wear out your administration, and you don't want to wear out your colleagues. You want them to be glad that you're in the program and see that as something beneficial for them in the school, not as extra work that they're not getting paid to do.
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the one thing, regardless of what year you are, what DRF you're in, what semester, whether you're in 601, 2, 3, 4, or 5, that's the constant here is you're going to need to rely on these people in this PLC pretty much every semester all the way through. You don't want to wear them out at the very beginning. Kind of ease them into it. You know how that goes. Don't jump in the deep end to start with. Kind of start in the wading pool. And that's kind of what we're talking about here is, this is not going to be a one and done kind of thing. You're going to use these people for all 6 of your evidence artifacts, and you're going to do a lot with them. So be cognizant of that. And I encourage you to look down the road at the different tasks that you're going to have to do within each of these 6 evidence and artifacts, and you'll begin to see, oh my God, I'm going to wear these people down. I'm going to wear them out. Yeah, if you're not careful, you will. And they'll kind of revolt on you. One of the hardest things for me is when I have interns that are in 604 or 605, and they say, Dale, look, my PLCs just, they quit me. You know, they're done. What am I going to do? Well, you know, it's kind of too late to tell you now to be easy on them up front. Don't go to the whip at the very beginning. You know, start out in a trot. And so that's what I'm telling y'all is this is going to be a long process. It's going to be 18 months, or for some of you a year, and it's going to be intensive. Be careful not to wear out your administration and your PLC. So be a little bit smarter about how you run your PLC. And Amber has a great idea that she's running hers through Zoom, which I think is great. That more people will participate with you that way. If you've got a face-to-face PLC that you're already mandated to be a part of, just take them over from time to time and take them away from what their normal responsibilities will be and into yours, and that would be a new PLC. But if you can form a new one, you know, in addition to the one you've got, and you got people that want to work with you, that's great. But that may not happen, and you need to learn how to adapt that. That's one of those. That's a good leadership opportunity.
Okay. So if I was to put that in to support a competency, where do you think that would fit the best?
If you were to put forming a PLC, or I mean, as a competency that goes in communication, and it can go into conflict management. I mean, there's a number of areas that PLC work, and if you'll look at that document, and I've identified all of them for you, PLC work can fit into competencies 1, 3, 6, 12, and 20. To answer your question specifically, all right, 1 is communication, 3 is conflict management, 12 is organizational ability, 20 is time management. I mean, for example, that's how I see the PLC work right there. In those 1, 3, 6, 12, and 20. Okay. You may be able to argue that it fits something else that I hadn't thought of. Delegation. So you may find it fits somewhere else besides just those 5 that I believe that it fits in terms of PLC work. If you could make that argument, if you make a cogent argument, you know, I'm willing to listen to reason. So that's a good question, and that's what this sheet is for, to tell you those things. Doing certain things hit more than just one competency, and so you can see a lot of them are multiples. Working on your duty roster, master schedule, and supervision hits 5 also, 2, 4, 14, 20, and 21, in my opinion. Here's one right here. You know, when you get down here to the end, when you start putting these things together, you hit all kind of competencies then. Awesome. So you'll be in 697 or 698 according to where you are. If you're a 5-semester person, you'll be in 697. If you're a 3-semester person, you'll be in 698. So let's quickly look at the difference in those shells. If you're a 697, it's a little bit easier. When you click on that, it's waiting. Come on, Blackboard. If you look over here on the left, you will see I have intern materials, and that's what I'm talking about. I've got documents there for you. All the Zooms that I do and the ones that Dr. Hamilton does, we upload these right here. So if you miss something or you can't find a link to one of my recorded sessions, this one will be uploaded there later this evening. And you just click on the semester that you're in. Here are all the handbooks, and here's a discussion board. If you want more people to review your work, you just come right here and click on that. There's a discussion board where you can get peer reviews through your internship. If your group's not giving you that in your class, you can come here. And I'll be your peer. You also, if you want me to read any of the work that you're doing in 601, if you click right here on 601, I've got a sample syllabus. I've got the site mentor handbook in here. I've got the scale handbook that gives all the complete directions for the evidence artifacts. I've got the overview of the tasks that you do, and I've got a place right here where you can put in where you can put in any of the tasks that you're doing in the app cell for my eyes only, and I'll give you my critical feedback on what you're doing. And so that's what these boxes are for. And each semester I have the same thing built for you, where you can get peer reviews here, or you can get my reviews here, and just confidential between me and you. If you don't feel good about something, again, you use discussion board. If you want it to be public, you click on the buttons here and use these assignment drop boxes. If you want it to be private to me, and they're all, you can see I've got optional typed in there. If you think your work's good and it's going fine and you feel good about the feedback you're getting from your peers and from your instructor, then you don't have to put me in the loop. But I'm just here as a backup if you don't feel good about what you're getting. And so, under intern materials, that will continue to grow through the semester as I create or find other things that I think might be helpful for you. But I've got your internship log here, your open-ended competencies and competencies found in the 6 evidences. That's where those documents that I've been reading today, and where you'll find a copy of the log. You can just download it from right there. The Zoom video links. If you were watching this and didn't have TaskStream up and working, and you wanted to see a quick and dirty that didn't last an hour on how to upload your competency folio, Dr. Hamilton made you a 5-minute one right here on what I went through with Amber to upload her competency folio today. The last 2 intern meetings are here. This one will be here. We'll skip next week. I'm gonna let you work on your own for a couple of weeks. And so if you need me, we can Zoom privately, but I won't do a Zoom video next week with the group. I'm going to give you, but I'll be back on with you in 2 weeks. I want to see if you can work a while on your own. If you can't, that's fine. There's no penalty, or there's no bad thoughts. If you want to Zoom with me next weekend, that's fine. We'll Zoom privately. But in terms of a group Zoom, but yeah, all my Zooms are here. So that's what's under your shell here, is another resource for you to work with me, to keep me in a loop with what's going on with your work, what's happening with you. We can Zoom at any time you want to Zoom. If we go back out and look at the shell for the 698, yours has got a little more stuff in it because your program's compact, and you have to select the proper tab for you. So if you're an add-on licensure, you're in 698, and there's 2 programs. There's a 5-semester program for add-on and a 3-semester. So when you go in, just make sure you click on the proper button. Again, I've got the same materials, the same links, but I've got you separated into 601 for the 5-semester program and 601 for the 3-semester program, and you click on that, and again, that's the way you can communicate your work to me privately. So if you want me to review your work, and there's a discussion board there if you want other peers to review your work. This is especially helpful if you're in this 5-semester program and you don't have class this semester, or a semester like the 602 and 4 semesters. If you're in the 5-semester add-on and you don't have any classmates, here's a way you can get peer reviews right here. If any of you are listening, but I don't think any of those folks, they're not online. I've already visited them this semester. But the part of this shell for them is if you don't have an instructor, then you have me that semester. But if you're a 3-semester program, you're not going to have that problem, because you'll have an instructor each semester. But if you're a 5-semester, you don't. But just make sure you click on the appropriate one if you're a 3-semester program, like Amber is right now, who's going to switch over to the 5-semester. But for right now, if she clicked on that button, I would have both the app cell and the app tail in there, and boxes for all of them, for her to put any work that she wanted me to review privately. And then when she went to her discussion board, it would have the same thing, but it would be open to all the interns to look at those, and she could get peer reviews back from other people besides people in her class that way. But that, again, these are optional things, and that's why I built these shells, to have a way to communicate with me if you'd like to do that. All right. So hopefully all of you have your internship shell now where you can work with other students there, other interns that you might know, or you can work with me. So that's what it's for. It's also a repository for all the videos and all the materials. It's a way to communicate with me if you have questions. So don't hesitate to use it. Questions about task stream, Blackboard shells. Class is all going well. Everybody's in class. Everything's going well with your instructors. You understand your task. You've caught on that the 6 evidence artifacts are a way that principals build the school improvement plan, that you're building the instructional component first, what we call the Closing the Gap program. Pretty much nationwide, but especially in North Carolina, every school is required to have a Closing the Gap program, and that's what you're doing. You're learning how to do the Closing the Gap program from standardized test scores. I had a question that arose from one of my interns about confidentiality. We ask that you use data that is public, like from report cards, like test scores. There's no confidentiality. Everybody knows those scores. That's why we had you use those. We didn't have you do something that's private, like individual assessments of kids. No, can't do that. But you wouldn't do that anyway. And so when we had you work with this, we made sure that you understood that you were supposed to start with standardized test scores that have been made public. So then there's no confidentiality issues of using names in schools, because that's all public information. One last thing before I go, I've got a pop quiz for you today. Let me see if I can pull it up here. And it goes along with your first task or so in the app cell. If I can open it up here, I'm going to do a, let's see, it's in Houston. It's in intern materials. All right. This is a old report card snapshot from North Carolina. It's a little bit different now, but just the same information is available. All right. Can Amber and Chris, can y'all see the screen with the old screenshot of the report cards? This is a high school EOC. This is their overall number of tests from biology 1 and English 1 and those kinds of things. Looking at this data set on the screen, what would you consider to be your most pressing need? Now, if you'll remember, that's how you started out your task. You formed your PLC. Y'all looked at standardized test scores like this, and your first real thing to do with that was to figure out what your most pressing need is. Which of these subgroups is your most pressing need? Now, disregard the 2 yellows here. That was that matches the figure 1 down here at the bottom. But just look at these subgroups. Which of these subgroups is your most pressing need? Students with disability, migrant students, limited English proficiency, non-economically disadvantaged, economically disadvantaged, that means free and reduced lunch, 2 or more races, Pacific Islander, Asian, American Indian, Hispanic, Black, white, female, male, and then your all score. So what is your most pressing need there?
LEP and students with disabilities.
All right. That's 2 wrong answers. But thank you for playing.
Mm-hmm.
I needed somebody. Thank you, Chris. But yes, that's 2 wrong answers. All right. Amber, that gives you a leg up. If it didn't, those 2. All right. Now, what's your answer?
Well, am I just looking at the school data? I'm not looking at district and state?
No, you're just looking at this. This is what you have to work with. Here's your subgroup data from this high school. Where's your which of these subgroups is your most pressing need? Chris guessed disabilities and LEP, and those are both not correct. We didn't gong him or anything, but those are both not correct. And I'll explain that in just a minute. All right, what's your answer? You're on the clock. 5.
I'm on the clock.
4, 3. 2.
I would say our males.
Nope. All right, let's start with Chris's answer. It's never students with disabilities. Why not? Why can it never be students with disabilities?
Because they're receiving modifications per their
That's right. They're on IEPs, and you can't change what you do with them. You can't address them one way or the other because they're on IEPs. They don't have an instructional program that you can modify. So it can't be them. All right. LEP was a good guess because the differential between their overall score and the all score is the highest of the other subgroups. But why aren't they your most pressing need if they have the biggest gap? Most pressing need is gap times number. There's only 13 in that subgroup. Look at the black subgroup. Not as big a gap, but look how many is in it. 358. So that's your most pressing need. That's when we talk about data disaggregation and making database decisions, you have to understand data to do that. So most pressing need here is your black subgroup because there's 358 members in that group. And if we did gap times number, that's a whole lot more bigger problem or issue than your 13 LEP kids. Now, that doesn't mean we don't care about those 13 LEP kids, but seven of them are on, there's only 6 of them not on grade level. If we got all 6 of them on grade level, what would that do to our overall school composite? No,
Not much.
Might go up 1/10 of 1 point. Probably wouldn't go up that much if we got those 6. 60% of them are on grade level. So that means 7 out of 13 are on grade level. That means there's only 6 kids in that whole subgroup who aren't on grade level. And if we moved all those kids to grade level, it wouldn't matter in terms of our overall composite score. But look over here at the black subgroup. You've got 150 kids not on grade level there. If you moved a significant number of those, it would matter to your overall composite score. So when you're looking, again, most pressing need, you should be looking at standardized test scores, things that have been released to the public, and you make sure that you understand when you disaggregate your data. I had an intern one time, and I went and visited her, and I said, all right, what's your most pressing need? She said, these 4 girls right here. And it was a large school with about 3,000 students in it. And I said, it can't be just those 4 girls. So what you're looking to do is close the gap in your subgroups to make the biggest and put something in place that has the biggest impact that you can get school-wide. That's what you're looking for. And that's what a closing the gap program is. It's literally the gap between a subgroup and the overall score of your school. I mean, that's the whole idea of no child left behind. We can't let certain groups of kids get left behind, so we have closing the gap programs. They're mandated, and that's what you're learning to do in the AppSell is a closing the gap program. Okay? Next time we meet, I won't have to cover task stream again in Blackboard. Next time we meet, I'm going to talk about the AppSell at length. Some of you that I'm visiting, I'm already doing that, but we're going to look down the road. And so what I'm going to do when we meet this semester, I'm going to start doing this, and we're going to start looking at the individual task and the individual evidence artifacts and give you an overview of what we do with each of those. And so next time I meet with you, we'll start with the AppTel. I see it's 4 o'clock on the dot. My time is up. I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for playing along in the game. Too bad nobody won any prizes today.
If I had additional questions, would I just email you those questions, or how do you want to do that?
If you want to, I will stop the meeting for all and stop recording, and you can just stay on the line and we can talk.
I've got 2 questions too, Doctor.
All right, we'll just keep on going then.
Okay, you can go, Chris.
Go, Chris. Okay.
I have a question. I just submitted my task 2 for like the rough draft for week 5.
In Blackboard.
Into Blackboard for peer review, because it has to be due this week. I think peer reviews are due next week. And you were talking about public data and non-public data. One thing that I have access to in the role that what I do at my school is EVOS, and I did not put student EVOS in there.
That's right.
But I put diagnostic.
That's fine. That's released to the public. That's fine.
Okay. It's for grade level, so I can look at 6 and see if our 1s went up and our level 5s went down. You know, we're catering to the lower students. There's no rigor in our instruction. Is it okay to put that stuff in?
That's fine. That's perfect. That's exactly right. You
Okay.
can use EVOS. You can use aggregated
It
EVOS
is.
data.
It's aggregated data. It's not student projections or probabilities. Or anything like that.
That's correct. You can use that.
Okay.
That's publicly released. That's correct.
And the second question I have is, it's a real simple one. On our internship log, it has the column for competency. I know what goes there. What goes in the proof column?
That's a note to you to write yourself as to where you'll find that, what you're going to do.
Okay.
Whatever you decide that you're going to use for proof. You know, for me, you don't have to use that column. But students said, you know, could we have a place to write a little note to ourselves to remind us, you know, that I'm going to go back to task 1 from the app cell and pull that proof out of it.
Okay.
It helps you so that you don't have to just every time you get a proof run to task string and try to upload it. You can just put it on your log where it is, and then what I suggest is about once a week, you know, when you catch up, or once every 2 weeks, you go back and you pop those in there 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 at a time.
Okay. Thank you.
Works faster and smarter. Good questions, Chris. I know you're on the ball.
So my questions are in reference to task 3. It refers to best practices. That's what we're working on this week.
Marzano.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to put you some Marzano stuff up under intern materials?
Please,
Mm-hmm.
please, that would be very helpful. And then in addition, it says that we need 5 references and 3 online tools in the annotated bibliography. But it doesn't specify what those online tools are. So is this just the technology we're using for each need, or am I not reading that correctly?
I think it's just the technology that you're using.
So if I'm using like Google Docs and Google Forms or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is, if it'll let me, I don't know if it'll let me do this inside. So I'm going to go to intern materials, and I am going to put you a couple of Marzano. So Bill content, I'm going to put a file here. Okay, let's see if it'll let me do that while I'm working here. And so this is Marzano 1. Browse my computer.
So while you're doing that, maybe you can shed some light on where it told me what to include in there. It said something about, and I don't have it pulled up right now, so I can't read it specifically, but it referenced graphic organizers.
Yep.
And to me, that was really confusing as to what you're looking for there.
All right.
That
all right. So this is Marzano card 1. Submit. All right. I'm going to put you a. All right. Are you still in task string?
Yes.
All right. Go to your DRF, Spring 17, and click on the. Let me see. That's Marzano 1. Let me upload the other Marzano right quick. I think I can take you to a place and show you the graphic organizer that we're looking for.
Okay.
It's a common one, and I may have an example of it. Let me see right here. Let me do this right quick. I may just have a blank example of one. If I do, I'll put it here, Marzano 2. I've got 2 good Marzano documents here. Put Marzano card 1 in. These are the ones that you need to look for. This is the excellent one right here. This is Marzano 2. So you should be able to see these 2 Marzano documents under 697. And I'll put them under 698 as well. You can do it. There it goes. All right, let's see if I have a graphic organizer example here that I want you to use. When they say use a graphic organizer, let's see. So if I go here and go here, come on, you can do it. There it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
That's the one. That's the magic graphic organizer right there. Specific activity. What are you going to do? Timeline. When you're going to do it. Person's responsible. Who's going to do it? And don't put staff or teachers. I never knew staff that did a damn thing. Put somebody's name. Resources needed and where that money's coming from. And you can't put, well, we're hoping to get a grant. Hope's not a plan. You got to have the money in hand. When you really do this in your school improvement plan, you have to have the money in hand. Formative assessment. Now, don't be dumb. You're my interns. You're supposed to be the best and the brightest. Formative assessment is not measure the kids halfway through the program. Formative assessment is a fidelity check for the adults to make sure they're implementing plan with fidelity, to make sure they're following the direction. And then summative is when you measure the kids at the end. Goal is what you'd like to move that to eventually, but indicator of success is how much we'd like right now. For example, our test scores are at 50%. We'd like for them eventually to be at 85. But if we don't go from 50 to 85 this year, that's not a failure. So our goal will be 85. The indicator of success this year, if we're at 50, is to move them to 55. That'd be one standard deviation. Understand that? Mm-hmm. One of the worst things that leaders can do is set goals too high, or just put the goal in and not have a midpoint goal or an indicator of success goal for the year. You can't make 5 standard deviations in 1 year. Anything more than 2 will be disqualified as something being wrong with it. So that's the graphic organizer. Now, you should use this for all action, marketing, or process plans, because in the end, when you get to the last task of the SIOP, the very last of the 6, you're going to put all these together, and they're going to become the working copy of your school improvement plan. And you would know as a principal who, what, where, when, and why. Everything that happens in your building this year, you know exactly before the year starts what's going to happen. Who's going to do it, when we're going to do it, where the money's going to come from, how we're going to assess. My favorite formative assessment story is 1,000,000 years ago, I was an elementary school principal, and we used to do textbook adoptions for reading. Well, the central office would put them on the truck, send them out to the school. We'd roll them down to the book room. They'd sit there all year. And then at the end of the year, they'd give the reading test, and they'd say, well, doggone, that reading adoption wasn't any good. Nobody ever bothered to come out and see if we ever actually unpacked those books and used them. That would be a fidelity check. And so that's what we're talking about here is we can tell the adults to go and implement this program, treatment, or fix. But does anybody go behind them and make sure they're doing it? And that's what formative assessment is. That may be the most important role that a school administrator plays, is that they make sure that the work of the organization is being carried out. Now, I'll refer to programs, treatments, and fixes as we go. A program is usually school-wide. A treatment is when we're working with subgroups. A fix is when we're changing something in our management routine, like moving reading from afternoon classes to morning classes in elementary school. That'd be a fix, a change in our management routine. So I often refer to programs, treatments, or fixes, and that's what you're coming up with here. Specific activities. Fixes will be in the OMA, because the OMA is about your management activities. That's why it's called organizational management activities, OMA. And so you will change, as you change processes, we call those fixes. Programs are school-wide, treatments are with subgroups, fixes. You know, you'll have some programs in your CAP because you're trying to fix school-wide issues that you've identified at the Teacher Working Condition Survey. Those will be programs. The app cell is probably going to be a treatment where you're identifying a subgroup to close the gap. But if you do something that's school-wide, we just call that a program. So I'll put this right now on our board. Also, build content file.
Now, where can I go to upload my current tasks for you to review?
You go to this one right here where it says MELS 601 semester 1. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a box for all of the tasks for the app cell for just me to see.
Okay.
All right, so graphic, browse my computer and go to intern materials open. All right. And so you will have both of those, and I will put those on this is the 697 page. I'll put those just in a few minutes on the 698. So that's what I'm talking about. As we have these sessions and you want things and you have questions, I drop them where it says internship materials. That's how we build that page. You just have to ask me as we go. If I just drop them all there, if I just dump my intern folder there, then you would never, just be confused and scare you to death. But as we go and you have questions, we'll talk about the AppTel next time, or we can talk about later tasks of the app cell. You'll be getting toward the end of it in 2 weeks. We can talk about it, and then we'll talk about the AppTel. And as you have questions, that's what these sessions are for, is you to ask me questions. Oh, I've got a document to help you with that. Okay. I want you to find your way, but I'm here. If you want something, I'll give it to you. But I don't want to overburden you. I don't want it to be where, gosh, he has 1,000 things. I don't know what to do with all this stuff, because I do have 1,000 things. So.
Okay, well, I'm going to upload my task 1 and 2 for your review, because I think I really want to just make sure I'm on the right track. I know we've spoken about the initiative at my school.
And that's exactly what they're there for. See, right here, you just click here and go here where it says, and this is only for me, and you'll put it here, and I'll tell you yes, no, good, bad, this needs to be done, tweak, whatever, and then you'll upload them both here, and I'll go right in, and that's an easy way, and then we have a record of it, and that's an easy way to do that.
Okay, sounds good.
And it's private between me and you, and I can get to these, and we'll keep a record, and we don't lose them in email. I've done this for years by email, but then students always seem to lose them. If we do it this way, we've got them. All right. Other questions, Chris?
Not at this time.
Make sense to you?
Yeah.
Good. Y'all two are my overachievers of this group. I'm going to rely on y'all a lot to tell me things now, what we need to do. If I'm unclear or going too fast, you got to tell me. I'll slow down. All right, y'all both get
Come on out to Hawaii.
I will call your instructor and tell them that y'all have done extra this week, and that they should give you extra credit points for all that you went through this week.
Oh, yeah.
An hour and 15 minutes. All right. Again, if you need to do a Zoom next weekend individually, just let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in 2 weeks, probably same time, probably about 3 o'clock on Sunday. In 2 weeks, I want to support you, but I don't want you to feel like I'm doing too much for you and that you're not figuring it out on your own. So if you need me, I'll be glad to come on next weekend with you. If not, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Okay, sounds
good. All right. Y'all have a good week. Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.